everyone. This is our video presentation about hydraulic powered truck. So what is hydraulic? Hydraulic is a technology and applied science using engineering, physics, and other science involving liquids' mechanical properties. So hydraulic is a use for generation, the transmission of power by pressuring fluid, controlling, and many applications. British mechanics and engineer Joseph Bramah began working in practical application of Pascal's law, a principle developed by French mathematician Blaise Pascal. This law states that if a pressure is applied to a fluid that is confined in a small space, the pressure will be transmitted through the fluid in every direction without diminishing. When it hits the edge of the confined space, the pressure will then act against that space at right angles. Basically, force acting in a small area can generate a proportionally bigger force on a bigger area.
Okay, how hydraulic power truck works. So hydraulics can be a term for the study of liquids and how liquids function. So but most people think of it is used in engineering. So when they hear from terms, hydraulic system work by using pressurized fluid to power an engine. So this hydraulic presses put pressures on a small amount of fluid. So in order to generate the large amount of power. So water in a container systems has pressures put on it from one side. So the pressure forces it against piston on other sides of the container. So the transfer of energy into the pistons, forcing it upward to lift the cardboard, because the pressures on the waters will not let it flow backwards. The pistons can never move in the opposite way unless the pressures is released. So this means whatever the pistons is lifting is secure until the system's operators allow it to be released. Like for example, if the piston raise the forklifts prongs, they would remain raised until the hydraulic pressures was released.
So let's talk about the project. So this project comes under fluid mechanics. So hydraulic powered truck is a wonderful application when it comes to fluid mechanics. So these are used in the applications of parking system if there is a huge traffic on the bridges, and this system comes under consideration. So in the project, the truck is hydraulically regulated using syringes loaded with fluid. So the basic concept used in the project was the Pascal's law. So the law states that when the pressure is applied at one end of a fluid constrained in a constant volume, the pressure due to that force is equally transmitted to all points of the fluid, which are acted upon by the same pressure. So using the same concept of the law, it is implemented in the project. So if we apply pressure to the fluid in a syringe, it is transmitted through a tube where another syringe is connected. So the motion of the syringe is used to move the truck from one floor to another. So the desired displacement due to the one syringe will move the truck to a certain height to be elevated from one truck to another.
So one materials is the cardboard. One half of cardboard, and number 2 is the stick glue, and number 3 is the automatic truck. One automatic truck, and next one lighter, and next one food cooler, and next 4 sirens with 4 ml, and next is the tube, 2 tube, and the next 1 candle, and next 14 barbecue sticks, and next glitters, and next one double side tape, small with small size. And next, one pencil with Mongol 2. And next, one spray print with 400 ml. And the last but not the least, one ruler. And also the scissor, one scissor.
I will explain how this hydraulic powered truck works. So as I start the car in here, and the car will turn in here, then the car will pass in this bridge, and I will push this first syringe. As you can see, the water will transmit in the second syringe and the bridge will go up. And as I pull this syringe, the second syringe will transmit to this first syringe and the bridge will go down. This second syringe has the same explanation with this first syringe. Okay, let's see how does it work with the use of car.
So let's proceed to the curriculum mapping. So hydraulic powered truck in K-12 program. This is applicable in grade 12. The topic is the fluid mechanics, and the content standard are first pressure, second pressure versus depth, third Pascal's principle. So the learning competences are first relate pressure to area and force, second relate pressure to fluid density and depth, third apply Pascal's principle in analyzing fluid in the various systems.
So our recommendation or suggestion of our DIY hydraulic power truck. And in order to become effective teacher inside the classroom, we must have provide instructional materials that the learners can be personally explore in a given materials. We don't want our student to always keep imaginary discussion in the class. There is some student that they can learn without visual presentation, or should I say instructional materials can really help them to understand the topics. So our conclusion of this power track is very useful for the students on how the track works using those materials, and it can be the student should be an hands-on and interactive ways for the student to learn physics. It can be easily incorporated for K-12 curriculum as a fun of educational science project. So the apparatus is simply to be used and can be constructed with instructional materials, making this an affordable and accessible option for the classroom. This DIY hydraulic powered truck is apparatus is simply yet very efficient way to teach the student, especially in the fluid mechanics, so they can be operative to say apparatus is really understand to the topic.